Hey guys, welcome back. So in our previous video, we have seen how we can connect to Firebase uh, with the use of Spring Boot. So in this video, we'll be creating a UI for that application. So with the use of Material Design, and we'll also be covering the reactive form and the NgModel binding, a basic on that. And we'll be using the project which we created to update the Firebase. So come on, we'll go to the project. So I've created the project, a simple Angular application that's created. So you can see here that's created. I work on the same here, and I've also started the server. So the application is running fine, you could see. So the next step is like we have to install the material design. So let me open one more console, the PowerShell. Let me add. So to know what the material design, so you have to go to this website, material.angular.io. So I'm going inside this. I'm going to start the fresh. So what I have to do is I have to install material design. So ng add material angular slash material. So I have to add this package to our ng module. So to our node modules, so that we can make use of the material modules in whatever components they provide. So let it get installed. So the package is installed. It is getting installed via npm. So we have to select the theme of material design. So I'm gonna choose Indigo Pink, global, set up global angular material typography style. Okay, set up browser animation for angular material. Yes. So with this, it will install the package. Okay. So material includes the many components. So if you look at here, so the components of form controls, it's related to form controls, navigation, layout, buttons, pop-up and data model. So we can make use of any of this. Like let's say I want to use a form control. So let's say I want to use a form field. So you can go here and look at the field, like so you can find see the form fields are this one. You can go for a drop down or a text area. So all for all this you can find the code block here, which you have to use, what you have to use, and how you can include inside your TS file. And if there is any CSS present like in the design which they used, so that also you can access. Okay, so with the use of it, it is making very much easier for you to build the website or web page, without consuming more time. So our application, yeah, the package is installed. So I think our application is also running here. That's cool. So let's see the web page. Yeah, that's also cool. There's no issue. So let's say I'm gonna include a form field in our application. So in our application, so I'm gonna remove everything from our app component. So this is the complete stuff which are getting shown on the UI. So I'm gonna remove everything and say, okay, I'm gonna remove everything and say this to div and create a form. Okay, let me say that this form. Okay, so I'm going to include the form field. So let's say I'm going to include this input field. So let's say I'm including it, I'm saving it. Okay, so once you go here, our application, you can see it is still the same. So what is the what's happening? So because it is simply the same input box which you're going to use, which you're using previously. So why the material design is not included? So for two, because we have installed the package, but see if you look at here, these are not a known element or known tag for Angular because we have not imported the module in our app module. So there are so many modules available. So those I have here, I have them here. So we are going to use the input module. So So instead of using only the input module, so we will be in future we'll maybe using checkbox, button, autocomplete module, and everything. So I'm just going to use all stuff. So this you can create a separate shared module file and then include them in the import them in your parent app module, and then you can make you like you can make use of the mat material design components. Okay, so let me include it. Okay, so I've included here, and this is not required, so it is getting repeated. So I'm saving it. So let it compile. Yeah, it's getting compiled with all these material components. So if you look at here, all the stuff which are getting compiled or of material designs stuff. Okay, so you can see here material code, checkbox, button. So everything is getting compiled because we have imported this for the first time. So that it will not be there in the cache or anywhere. So that's why it is getting compiled now. It might take a little time because this is the first time which first time like it compiles each and every components, like each and every component in the material design, and it will compile for you. Okay, so there we go. So the module is installed and the application started working. So we can see the input box, the mat input box. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so let's create the other fields as well. So in our application we have three fields, which is ID, mm, name, and age. Okay, create three fields and age. Okay, so the fields are ready. So now we can see, yeah, that's good. Let me to break. So that it will be aligned vertical. Okay, I'm also going to add a button to search. So let me go to buttons. So input fields for this one. So can have a placeholder and a value. So let us have a placeholder. No, that's not required as of now. So okay, we'll have it. Let us have a placeholder which says employee ID, name, age. Okay, so everything should be here. That's good. Okay, so we created the fields and we have to create a button. Let me go to form field where we can find it. Components, buttons, button. Okay, The reason why we are going with the material is like our work will be much low because we don't have to worry about the CSS because all the design are provided by them. We just have to go copy it and paste it here. Okay, let me search. Okay, so you save it. So if you there, so there you go. That's a primary button, so that's why it is in white. So if you want it to be okay, that's a normal button, so you can provide a color to it so that you can see it in blue. That's a primary button. You can see it in blue. There you go. Okay, let me apply a break over there. Okay. Let me move the center. Okay. Okay. So the next step, what we're going to do is we are going to create the reactive form fields and bind them. Okay. Okay. So let me go to the component and on ng on init we are going to create the form. Let me name the form name as emp form equal to new form group. So the form group is not imported, so we have to import it from Angular forms module. So before that we also have to include the forms module in our app module. So let me copy that. Let me copy it and paste it here and import them. All three. And the HTTP client model we'll be using to interact with our service. Okay, service endpoint. So this is a form group. So this form group is going to have your ID. That's a new form control. So I'm just going to initialize with empty value. Okay, comma. It's going to have name, new. Okay, I missed the function bracket here. That's why it's throwing an error. Let me close it here. New form control of action. I'll let you know the parameters which we can provide and use inside the form control. Okay, and next one is age. That's form control. Okay, fine. Now I'm gonna import it from forms module. All right. So I'm gonna declare a variable of form group that will be of form group. Okay. So this way We have created a form group, and inside the form group contains three fields, which is ID, name, and age. Okay, so with the use of reactive form, what we can do is like we can dynamically access the value anywhere, and you can set the value, and you can also enable, disable the field, and you can repeat the same field anywhere you want. So let's say I want this field as required, and you can do is validators dot required, and I want to apply a regular expression. So let's say validators dot pattern of whatever the pattern that you want to keep. Okay, so similarly, so the validators, validators also you can assign here, and you can also disable the field you want, and so anything you can do over this form control. So you can also access this form control anywhere in the component, and even in the child component you can access the parent form and its form controls. Okay, so now let us bind this form to our HTML. So our form name is AMP form. So let me go here and let me change this. Okay, okay, let me change here form group. Okay, so our form group is AMP form. Okay, so this AMP form has three fields, that is form control name equal to ID. Okay, so this is one field, and there's another field for name, and this is for age. Okay, and here. Let me save it in this way. So everything is working. There's nothing that is breaking the application. Okay, let me see the UI. There you go. Nothing is breaking. I'm not sure. Can bind form group AMP form. Okay, fine, no problem. I think this is because of my live reload is not working fine. Probably I will restart the server. Okay, so next stuff is like we have to create our model. So with that model, we're going to interact with Spring Boot by sending and receiving the same object. So let me create a new file, which is of employee.model.ts. Okay, so I've created it. So I'm going to export class employee, and this class has ID number, name as string, and age as number. Okay, so this is enough. We can also create a constructor. So now the application is running successfully. So I think the live development, the server is something wrong with my information. Please don't. You can skip that. Okay, I've saved it. So our object is ready. So what we're gonna do is like we're gonna bind the employee object with our employee with our employee form, EMP form in our application component. Okay, this is from employee. I've imported it. So let us go here and bind it with NgModel. Okay, equal to employee.id. Sorry, it should be dot, and you can put this. Okay, so similar, you want to have the same. Okay, you can also use the NgModel to get a complete object, or you can also get the value from the form control. So I'll explain you both. But the reason why I'm using NgModel is that you can get the complete object, and you can just send the same object to the service. You don't have to, check the value on each and every form control and get that and then set it again to the employee object. Okay, so I just saved it. Fine. Okay, so it is not able to bind because the value is not initialized. So I will initialize this as a new employee object equal to new employee. Okay, let me save it, and that should work. That initial, yeah, that's working. Okay, so the next step is like we are gonna use data table and bind the value of employee list to that to get the results. Okay, so in order to get the data tables, we'll go to the material design, go to components, go to data table. We're gonna use just a table. Okay, we'll go to example. Loading. So it will be like this. Okay, so we are going to use this table, okay, to load the data. So I'm going to the code. We'll take the HTML, then we'll bind our value from the employee object to this employee object list to this data table. Okay, so it's loading. Okay, by the time it's getting loaded, I'm going to come into it. So we'll create a divider. Okay, and next is the table. Okay, here it goes. So we got the HTML. Okay, so I'm copying this and pasting it here. So here the data source is the array of the data which we are gonna display. Okay, so in this data source we have to set our employee object array. So here the column will be ID and column reference. Okay, let it be position. Okay, this is, we'll create a new one for ID. Okay, this is ID and dot ID. Okay, name, that's fine, and this is age Yeah, also we have to change it to H. Okay, and this one is not required for us. And this is the displayed columns. So displayed columns will be having the array of headers. Okay, so we'll declare that in our TS file. Okay, so that's it. I think this column is also not there in our employee object, so we'll remove it and save it as of now. So we'll go to our TS file. So here we're going to declare the displayed columns and our employee objects. Okay, so there you go. These two we'll be declaring here, and the first one is ID, name, age. We don't have any other column there. Okay, so the data source will be assigning empty as of now. Okay, so until we create a service and interact with the Firebase. If you look at here, it's saying that we didn't find the column with ID age, so it should be age. Okay, these gaps we save. Okay, so there you go. So you got the data table. So as we have the data empty in this, so we are empty in the data source, so we are getting empty value. So let me have a value of okay, let me get the value from service instead of wasting time. So let me create a service, new file, app.service.ts. Okay, so in this service we are gonna create two methods, which is gonna get all the list of employees, and with one method which is gonna save the list of employees. Okay, so let me create the class export class app service. Okay, so the app service is going to have a constructor, and we're going to use HTTP client module. So HTTP client. Okay, okay, so this HTTP client module we have to declare. It's declared here. I'm gonna import it from client. Okay, so that's imported. I think I misspelled it, so that's why it was not importing properly. So this is in service, so I'm gonna use injectables. Injectable provided in root. Okay, it's done. Okay, the stuff is ready now. So I'm gonna get all employees. Okay, so this is gonna return observable of employee array. Okay, so in this I'm gonna take a return. Sorry, we're gonna return it. So let's say return this dot http. We are gonna use http localhost 8080 / get all employees. Okay, so that's it. So this is gonna return you. So sorry, I just forgot to write the method. Just get employee. Okay, so this is gonna return you the list of employees. Let me save it. We'll go to the component. So there is on initialization. So let's say we are going to assign the data source, this dot data source equal to, okay, so here we have to inject our service. So let me inject it through the constructor. So I'm going to inject the app service. Let me import it. Start app service dot get all employees. So it will be employee array. So we cannot assign like this. So instead, we'll subscribe. Sorry. So we'll subscribe. Dot subscribe list of employees. Employees. This dot data source equal to employees. Just assignment. So now I think it should get resolved. Okay. And let me print the data source. Let me check whether we are able to hit. Yeah, it was hitting the URL. Here we can see now They're able to see the list of employees. Okay, so now let's see. Let me change that search into add, and then save, and then save the employee into Firebase. So let me create a method, save employee of employee. So I'll be calling this dot service dot save employee. I'll be passing the object employee. So we want to implement this in our service. So let me go to service, save employee. So it is going to accept the employee object, employee, and it's going to return. It may return anything. So let's say, or we can give it as observable also, observable employee also. So let me return this dot http dot put post any data, and the URL would be of save employee. Let me copy this, slash save employee, comma, the parameter would be employee. Okay, so with this you created the method, so it's going to send the employee object along as a parameter to the post method, which is this. Okay, so we have to subscribe to it in our save dot subscribe results. Okay, so if result, so you can subscribe to it and access the result dot, okay, true. Let me check this as whether it is saved or not. If it is saved, we will create a console message dot log that it is saved. Okay, done. So now let me go to the UI. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So let me say 5. Age, name is Suresh, and age is 44. And let me save it. So nothing happened. I think it didn't call the. I think it didn't call the backend because we have not implemented anything on this save button. So let me implement a click event. Click, then you have to call this save employee with the employee object. Okay, so now it should work. So let us see. Okay, 5 Suresh 44. Save it. it is saved. So let me check our backend. Yeah, it has saved the value. So you can see 5, 44, and Suresh. So if you refresh the application, so you can able to see that you are able to see the value which we saved. Okay, so that's dot log result. I think we are returning. I think we are returning only the ID if we save it. So let me save one more. Just 6 Bala and H37 and save it. Yeah, here you go. So you got it. And if you refresh, you will be able to see Bala as well. So that's a simple application. So which we created through Angular Material design, and we also integrated from control on this fields, and we used material buttons and data table. Probably you can enhance this application, in order to auto refresh whenever we save, or whenever we save, we just have to um, reset the value of this. So whenever we save, so let me call this function as well, so that you can see the updated value in the data table. So let's say 7, something as this. I will give some name. Praveen, install, save. So you can see the data table is getting updated with the updated value. So you can enhance it according to your need. So this is just a basic application. So how we can make use of the Angular reactive form and the NgModel. So this way, so let's say in the reactive form, I'm giving this as validators dot required, okay, and all the fields I'm giving. So, you cannot save it. You cannot click on save until the errors are resolved. Okay, see. So what you can do is you can check the form control field. If it is having any error, then you can display appropriate message. So such stuff you can do. Okay. So that's the end of this video. So probably in my next video I will cover on how to deploy this application in Firebase, or depends on how, like, I'm waiting for your valuable comment. So depending upon your comment, I'll be uploading my next video. So until then, bye bye from AnbuZ. Thank you.